Welcome to this Atlassian University course on managing permissions in Jira for Cloud. This course has been designed to give you a comprehensive review of permission-related configurations in Jira. And here is what you will learn. We'll cover the basics by looking in-depth at permissions in Jira. We'll look at configuration-related use cases, and we'll cover troubleshooting. And throughout we'll cover advice about best practices to help you work more effectively. To succeed in this training and understand the use cases presented here, you'll need the following. End-user experience with Jira to understand users' requirements and their problems. Administration experience with Jira. And finally, familiarity with foundational Jira concepts of projects, issues, issue types, and related configurations. Let's look at our agenda. We'll start with an overview of the entire broad landscape of concepts, terms, and configurations related to permissions, to give you a sense of everything that is involved. If you're not familiar with the terms and concepts you hear, don't worry. Each subsequent module will dive deeper into each of the areas to ensure your understanding. We'll guide you through permissions and product access. We'll look at global permissions, project permissions, and finally we'll consider permissions at the issue level. In this skill builder, we'll cover the enhanced user permission experience in the Atlassian Admin Hub and how it relates to permissions. The concept of permissions and security in the Jira family of products is quite broad and quite deep. Let's look at each of the terms and concepts at a high level. From controlling the content that users can access, to the actions they can perform and the way that they interact with Jira functionality, permissions are a vital part of your Jira system. With permissions in Jira, we're managing a user's access to the product. We grant them the permission to access as an administrator or as an end user. We're also managing their access to Jira functionality and their access to and interaction with content. We'll start by looking at administration in Jira, from the highest level, organization administration. We'll begin by looking at the structure of an Atlassian cloud organization. At the highest level, we have the organization. Acme Inc. is the organization in this example. Each organization can have one or more Atlassian cloud sites contained within it. You see that Acme Inc. has a site for Acme USA and a different site for Acme UK. Each site can have licenses for one or more Atlassian products. You see that Acme USA and Acme UK both use Jira software. A site can also use a product that's unique to their site. Here we see that Acme USA uses Jira Service Management, but Acme UK does not. For the purposes of this course, we are focusing on Jira products, but an organization administrator would manage access to Confluence too. Atlassian Cloud consists of multiple levels of administration. The organization administrator operates at the organization and site levels, and the product administrator operates at the product level. An Atlassian Cloud organization gives the organization administrator an overview of the sites, products, users, and groups that are in use across their organization. The organization administrator manages their users and groups for all sites at the organization level. They also manage product access on each site. Additionally, they manage security within their organization. This includes tasks such as verifying domains for their organization, in this case, acme.org. They can also set up authentication policies and methods, such as single sign-on. At the site level, the organization administrator can add new products, upgrade products, and remove any products on each of their sites as needed. They can also view and manage billing details and configure site settings such as site access, storage allowance, and connected apps. The organization administrator has access to all products as a user and an administrator. This is a very powerful role with a lot of responsibility. The main responsibility for a product administrator is to administer Atlassian product settings. In Jira they can, for example, create company-managed projects, manage company-managed schemes, assign global permissions, and create project roles. A product administrator for Jira manages all Jira products on a site. They do not necessarily have access to a product as a user. The two administrators access their administration tools from different URLs. Organization administrators manage their organization and sites at admin.atlassian.com. Product administrators go directly to their sites, for example, acmeusa.atlassian.net. after organization access, and then product access. The next level of permissions that control a user's interaction with Jira are the global permissions. The global permissions apply to all Jira products in a site. They control who can administer Jira and control Jira-wide settings, such as who can perform bulk changes or create team-managed projects. Global permissions are only granted to groups. A product administrator can associate groups with any global permissions except the administered Jira global permission. Only an organization administrator can grant administered Jira global permission. Additionally, it is the organization administrator who manages groups and user membership of groups. Note that each default group in your organization will be appended with the site name once the site is being created. For example, Jira Software Users Acme UK or Jira Admins Acme UK. And then, we have permissions applied at the project level. Project-level permissions are managed in different ways according to the type of project you use, either company-managed or team-managed. One of the main differences is that company-managed projects can share permission settings with other projects, and team-managed projects cannot. In both cases, permissions can be granted to individuals, groups, and other options, depending on the project type. In both cases, permissions can be granted by users who have the permissions necessary to administer the project, usually called project administrators. Both types of project use permissions to control project access. There are several fine-grained permissions that users can be granted, such as the ability to add comments, edit issues in the project, assign issues, and so on. Last but not least, you can manage individual issue visibility, although the two project types manage issue-level access in different ways. For example, in a company-managed project, by using issue security, you can set security levels so that the only ones who can access the issue are the person who created the issue and specific other users. This is useful for locking down access to issues where there is sensitive information. In this illustration, Manager Milo can access all issues in the project, while other users can only access specific issues. In team-managed projects, any role with the Restrict Any Issue permission can restrict access to an issue. Restricts are applied by clicking a lock icon in an issue and selecting the role that should be able to view the issue. This, again, is useful for locking down access to issues where there is sensitive information. In this illustration, Manager Thomas can access all issues in the project, while other users in other roles have access to other issues. To sum up, permissions are controlled at different levels. At the organization level, where administrators can manage organizational security, where product access is managed, and where users and groups are managed. At the product level, where global permissions are managed. At the project level, where users' access to issues and project-level functionality is managed. And finally, at the issue level, where users' access to specific issues is managed. We'll look at a typical permissions use case. Mirabelle is the organization administrator. She wants to have Renato assist her in managing Jira, specifically in managing Jira settings and permissions. She needs to decide which administration-level permissions to grant to Renato. If you would like to walk through the use case, you can follow it through using the PDF guide that we provided.